Hey guys, it's Nathan here from the Healthy Body Company. Today is the first of 6 videos that we'll be shooting for you rugby league and union players looking to return to sport after having a bit of a layoff. The idea of this program is to help reduce the risk of getting injured as well as improving your performance out on the field. The program itself will be split up into strengthening exercises and some conditioning work to help get the Ks back into the legs. Just a quick disclaimer about everything involved with the program. If you are experiencing any pain with any of the exercises or during running, I'd recommend not continuing with that particular exercise or activity and consulting a physiotherapist, ideally one of us here at the Healthy Body Company, and we'd be more than happy to help you with the issue and get you back on track. If you aren't having any pain and feeling fine, this is what it's for, to help you out and help get you back onto the park without getting hurt.
Okay, so next we're going to go through the guideline that's suggested to follow for the routine. Basically, we're breaking up the week into 4 training days. 2 of those are going to be more of a strengthening focused, and 2 of those are going to be run days trying to get some kilometres back in the legs. We're going to go through the strengthening exercises and the running sort of suggested program to follow separately. But basically, I just wanted to sort of introduce sort of a suggested format, and this can be quite flexible. So, feel free to mix in rest days where you feel like you need to. But yeah, this is just an example to follow. So next up, we're going to go through the strengthening exercises and how to perform them. Okay, so here we have the strengthening exercises for week 1. This routine we'll be performing on both sessions during the week. We're going to start with a warm-up, which is going to be about 5 minutes, which we'll run through in a second. And we'll also go through all the exercises just after I've outlined exactly what we're going to be doing. So I just wanted to point out that during where it says exercise A and exercise B, that means we're performing a superset. So basically you do for example, exercise 1, you'd perform the 15 repetitions of the Bulgarian split squats, and then with very minimal rest, going straight into doing your 20 reps of push-ups before having your rest break then for the set. So for all exercises where there's an A and a B component, that's how you'd follow it. It's a whole body sort of workout, but there is a predominantly leg focused aspect to it, and that's simply because of the demands of rugby league and union and other similar ball sports. It's very obviously leg driven, so we want to try and create some strength and resilience in those muscles to help better our performance and reduce the risk of being injured. I'd just like to point out too that this program obviously isn't very individualized, or it's going to vary from person to person depending on what your needs are. So just bear that in mind and feel free to tweak it and adjust it accordingly. I'll go through with the exercises ways that you can tweak it to make it harder or easier depending on your goals and what your current capabilities are. Okay, so before we get into the strengthening exercises, I think it'd be a good idea just to do a little warm-up. It's nice and simple, 5 little exercises. We're going to do 30 seconds on and then a 30-second rest in between each one. So we're going to start with 30 seconds of star jumps, have that little rest, and 30 seconds of air squats. Same thing, little rest, and then 30 seconds of doing some arm circles, doing 15 seconds of that going forwards, and then 15 seconds going backwards. Doing some slow toe touches, so that's standing up straight and then slowly bending forward, touching your toes and slowly coming back up. Doing that for 30 seconds, and then lastly doing some push-ups against the wall. So run through all of that and then you can get straight into those exercises.
The first exercise we're going to do is a Bulgarian split squat. So this exercise is going to be mainly working our quadricep muscles at the front as well as our glutes. To do it, you'll need a bench, a chair, a lounge, or a couch works pretty good, being a bit softer. We're going to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot's going to be resting on that surface at the back there, and you're just going to be doing a lunge with your leg up on the back there. So just straight up and down, nice and controlled. You don't want to be going up and down really quickly, using those muscles to control your body as it moves. So we're going to try for 15 repetitions on each leg, and then following that we're going to go straight into some push-ups, which we'll demonstrate now. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to be going through is the push-up. Obviously it's quite a common exercise. The idea of incorporating it into the program is just to work on some upper body sort of muscle and strength, as well as working on some shoulder stability. And as the weeks go on with this program, we'll be able to progress that to have a bit more of a stability demand. So obviously there's a few ways you can do push-ups. Ideally, we want to probably be doing it on our toes. If you're not quite up to that level strength-wise, doing it on your knees might be a better starting point, or you could even do it off a wall or off like a bench, like a bit of an elevated surface, so you're on an incline, to make it a bit easier. But yeah, for the purposes of this demonstration, we just want to try and keep our torso and legs all in one straight line, and we're slowly lowering our body as we go to the floor. So I'll show you that now. So everything's nice and straight, taking my time, up and down. So we're going to go for 20 reps to start with if we can. If you can't quite make that, that's fine to drop it down and try and slowly build up over time. But yeah, if we can start with that, that's probably a good idea. And obviously as the weeks go on, we'll try and make that harder and progress that. So with the push-ups, we're going to be mainly working our pec muscles, our shoulders through the front, as well as our triceps. Give that a go, and we'll catch you on the next exercise. We're going to be doing is a single leg bridge. So this is going to be working our glute muscles, our lower back muscles, and some of our core muscles. You also might feel a little bit in your hamstring as well. We're going to be lying on our back, one leg in the air and the other leg's pushing us up to the ceiling. Just trying to keep everything in one straight line, pushing through our heels with our toes up in the air. Okay, so we're going to try for 20 on each side. If you find that a little bit too tricky, you can do it with both legs to start with, or you may do a staggered stance with one leg in front of the other, where you'll be mainly working the leg that's closer to your body if you were to do it in that fashion. But yeah, start with 20 reps on each side, and if you can do that, you'll be able to progress it to next week when I show you something that's going to be a little bit harder. Straight after the bridges, we're supersetting those with some side planks being done on your knees. We're going to try for a minute hold of these. So this is going to be working some of our core muscles, and will help identify any imbalances from side to side and help even those out over the course of the 6-week program. So you just want to try and keep everything in one straight line as you're doing it on your side of your knees, bend at 90 degrees, and on your elbow, just popping up, keeping everything in a line. Your knees, hips and shoulders should be straight. Sometimes I see people doing it where they're a bit too bent. You want to try and maintain that good alignment through your body, and we're just going to go for a minute hold on each side. So you do right side first, then the left, and then straight into the single leg bridge. Exercise is going to be a bent knee adductor raise. So the idea of this exercise is to help with your ability to push off and change direction, and help reduce the risk of getting a groin strain. Probably wouldn't have seen it, it's not a common exercise, but it is a really good one. So you're going to have one knee up on a bench or a chair or your lounge, and then you're going to be in a similar position to your side plank. The other leg's going to be in the air, and you're just lifting your body up and then slowly lowering down. So it's working this top leg, working your adductor muscles, which is the inside groin muscles. So we're going to try for 12 repetitions of this. So for some of you that haven't done anything like this before, it might be challenging to the point where you can't get 12 reps. That's fine. Do what you can and try and build it up, in that second session, and as the weeks goes on doing this program. So that's the bent knee adductor raise. Give it a adductor raise set. We're doing left and right of that. We're going straight into doing some front planks. So another common exercise, probably would have seen it and heard this before, but just to reiterate, we want to try and keep everything nice and straight, working our core and lower back muscles to help reduce the risk of injuring those structures, and help create some stability and rigidity through your trunk as you're taking contact. So on your forearms and in your toes, holding for a minute. If that's too hard, you can go onto your knees to start with, but yeah, ideally you want to try and build to doing a minute hold for 3 sets as we go that for the front planks. Alright, well if you've made it this far, well done. Last exercise to go, we got some bent knee calf raises. So the main idea of this exercise is to work your lower calf muscle. It's called your soleus, which is going to be the predominant calf muscle involved with running. So what you want to do, find a wall that you can hold on to just for some balance support. You're going to hover your knee over your toe in this angle. It's about 20 to 30 degrees. Going up onto the balls of your foot and slowly back down. So it's important to try and keep that knee flexion angle the same and not sort of bend up or straighten as you're doing the exercise, to keep the pressure targeted through the soleus muscle, which we're trying to work. So again, the idea of this is to help improve the tolerance of that muscle to attenuate load so that we don't get any calf strains throughout the season.
Okay, so the following day after the strengthening exercises, you may feel a little bit sore. That's normal, particularly if you haven't been doing much over the last few weeks. It is okay to continue with the conditioning work, being a bit sore, and it'll probably help more than anything, sort of flushing everything out. So to start with, we're just easing back into things. Both sessions are going to be fairly similar. We're doing 7.5 to 10 minutes worth of jogging with a 2-minute walking rest in between sets. We're going to do 2 of those. So all up, we're running 15 to 20 minutes, just, getting the Ks back into the legs. It's not going to be much, but it's going to help build up a bit of aerobic conditioning, a bit of an aerobic base, and then we can build on it from the weeks to come. It's important to do a little bit of a warm-up before each session just to get the heart rate up. So I'd recommend doing a 3-minute brisk walk to start with, and then doing 2 minutes worth of butt kicks, high knees and walking lunges, as you'd probably be familiar with warming up before any training or game days. I'd just be doing that before the running to help reduce the risk of injury. So that's conditioning work for week 1.
Alrighty guys, that's it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Otherwise, enjoy, work hard, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Cheers.